the lecture number 5. Okay, we come to the Sunday 1st of September already. Time's flying very quickly. Today we're going to start the Dhamma group 4, the first episode of Dhamma group 4. We'll continue to group 4.2 and 4.3. Then we move on to the Dhamma group 5, 6, 7, and so on. So please prepare for this, and please, as we moving along, moving forward, please don't forget to go back and relearn what we have been learning so far. Don't wait until the last, class and have no time to study all of this because exam is waiting. So instead of doing that, take your time each week, go through the material just to relearn. It's not a lot, only one lecture is about 3 or 4 topics of the Dhamma. So you should be able to manage and find time to catch up what you learn. So let's just recap a little bit what we have been learning so far from last week. Last week we did talk about 2 concepts, right? I hope you still remember. We talked about the 3 common. Okay, 3 commons of all things, or we call the Trilakhana. It's nothing much. We did talk about 3 items on the list, right? We talk about what? Still remember? The concept of anicca, the concept of dukkha, okay, and the concept of anatta. Okay, this is a huge topic, but in the elementary level, we want to keep it simple so students can get familiar with the term, not only the Pali terms, but when it's come to the English translation, and most importantly, the meaning of each particular Dhamma vocabulary that we learn, so we can put into practice, properly and correctly. So anicca is impermanent, and impermanent. To be able to put this word into practice, we think of something that it's rising moment to moment. It's continue to change. This law apply to both being and non-beings, as we learned from last week. So it's continue to change, and dukkha is something that is unsustainable. It cannot stay like that. And why? Because it has the characteristic of anicca, or impermanent. Human, animal, objects continue to change moment to moment, and because of that, it's unsustainable. We cannot force everything to stay the same forever. And the last one, anatta, or non-self, which gives the another translation, is uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. If you think of these 5 aggregate, body and mind, we cannot control the body not to get old, not to get ill, to remain young forever. We cannot do that. Same thing with the buildings, relationship, you name it. There is nothing in this world that we have full control over it. And if that's the case, we cannot claim this is myself, this is me, and this is mine, according to the teaching of the Buddha that we learned from the example of the Anattalakkana Sutta from last week. And then we did talk about the concept of the unfailing practice, or apannaka Dhamma. Okay, by seeing me writing, it may help you to recall your, bring back your memory of what we learned from last week. In that teaching that we learned, we already talked about 3 things. Number 1 is guarding the sense door. Guard the sense door. Okay, which is eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and touch, body and the mind. There are 6. Let me say, it's 5 plus 1 equals 6. 5 in terms of the physical body have, eye to see, ear to hear, nose to smell, and tongue to taste, and the body to touch. And 1 refer to the mind. The mind can think. Okay. What you see from these 5 sense door is you can only experience something in this very present moment. You cannot smell something from yesterday. You cannot see something from yesterday or last week. It has to be this very moment, here and now. But for the mind part, this is something that's special. The mind can feel or can bring back the memory in the past. That is why sometimes you see nothing, hear nothing in your meditation. You're feeling very good. You're in a good mood, and all of a sudden the mind pick up some negativity in the past. Oh, that guy said something bad to me. Oh, I was heartbroken because of that person. All of a sudden that thought came. and it's bothering you in this moment, even though that thing happened like 10 years ago. So you need to be careful with the mind when it's come to the thinking. That's why we not only guard the door of sense when you go out to see, to hear, to taste. Be careful with that, be mindful with that, and not only that, to guard your mind as well, not to drift toward the negativity or unwholesome thought. And that's gonna be helpful when it's come to practice meditation. Second thing is about eating, moderation in eating. Okay, that's the second thing. This Apannaka Dhamma is the Dhamma that you cannot be failed. That's why it's called unfailing practice in both worldly life and in spiritual life. You need to have a good health, and without being mindful of what you eat, then you're going to end up having health issue later on down the road. That's not good. And the last one is called the practice of wakefulness. Practice of wakefulness. Okay, not to be lazy when it comes to the practice of meditation. Be mindful, stay focused, and keep on going until you reach your goal. It depends how advanced of meditation you want to be, how high of meditation experience that you want to go up to. So continue to do it, and then you cannot fail if you guard your sense door. It's going to help you to have a good mindfulness, and it's going to help you to have a good concentration. And if you also mindful of what you eat, you're going to have a good health to enjoy a long session of meditation session. Okay, and that's a recap of what we learned from last week. For today, we're going to move on, like I said, the Dhamma group 4, but we should recap what we learned, right? That's why I just bring back your memory so you can have some information before you do the short quiz. Today it's only 3 questions. Which one is not an unfailing practice or the Apannaka? In the final exam, you may see the question like this. If I give the Pali term, I will give the English meaning as well. Don't worry about that. So which one is not? That means you need to know what are the 3 items on the list in the Apannaka Dhamma, right? So if it's not listed in that 3 items, then you know the answer. Moderation in eating, that's for sure. Practice of wakefulness, that's for sure. Right? Guarding the sense door, that's for sure. But this one a little bit, I add E because last week I mentioned something further, not just the 3 items on the list, right? You need to know unfailing means if you're following this or if you have this quality, you cannot fail in anything in life. So keeping 5 precepts, of course, is going to add on to whatever you do. That is why now you can eliminate the choice that might not be correct or the choice that is correct. So the answer is C, right? Which one is the meaning of anatta or not self? Okay, sounds good. It's obvious. This is what? This is anicca, right? This is dukkha. Sometimes there are different terms as well. Okay, this is anicca. So the answer is uncontrollable. And the last one, which Dhamma support the practice of wakefulness? Khanti, patience, viriya, effort, mindfulness. Mindfulness support all the Dhamma, right? Eat in moderation, of course, it's unfailing practice. And that leaves us one choice left, which is all of this, okay, support the practice of the wakefulness. Okay, that's easy. You can find more of the question like this on the self study that I post online. The link that we talk about it on the very first 2 sessions in the the brain space. I have the summary of what we learned, and I have the quiz for you to practice as well. So for today, we're going to move on Dhamma group 4, which we will be covering the 4 topics: the Vuddhi Dhamma, the Chakka Dhamma, the Agati, and the danger for the new monks. Why we have to talk about the danger of the new monks? Like I said, the Nak Dhamma curriculum is designed for both monks and the lay people. Actually, Nak Dham is dedicated for the monks and novices, and the Dhamma study is the path for the lay people to study Dhamma. But in this program, we allow both monk and lay people to join the same study. So sometimes you come across the teaching that related to the monk as well, which is, I think, is benefit you as a lay person as well. So Vuddhi Dhamma, the virtue that conducive to growth. Chakka Dhamma, the virtue that wheeling, Chakka means wheeling, one to prosperity. The Agati is the four prejudices. And the danger for the new monks, we get to know what they are and why the Buddha mentioned these four things, give the warning to someone who take ordination. Okay. So there are many teachings of the Buddha. As my study journey goes on, getting to know more and more teachings, study more and more sutra, I realized that in the 45 years of the teaching career of the Buddha, later on when he's getting older, he starts to teach something more toward the lay people, something that the lay people can understand and something that they can put into practice, like how to become rich, how to secure their wealth, how to take care of their wife, how to take care of their children. Things like this happening later of his life. But at the very beginning of his teaching career, the Buddha focused on, he just get to the point, just get to the liberation, because people ordain for this. You become a monk, you want to achieve Nibbana. This is how you can achieve Nibbana. So when someone come across the teacher, like the Buddha and the Arahant in the past, Sariputta, Mokkhalana, Ananta, they will teach you, especially male and female monk, people who become a full-time spiritual person like this, that have no family life, just ordained for this. When they listen to the Dhamma, the Buddha will select the Dhamma that help those people to achieve the enlightenment, depends on their perfection. So they will not waste time to talk about heaven and hell, benefit of precept, benefit of dana, this and that. Just get to the point. Sometimes the Buddha give one sentence and people understand, they achieve liberation. Something like this. But as a lay person, when you study the Dhamma, sometimes you looking for the Dhamma that only benefit you, only something that you want to hear, right? I give this, what do I get? I meditate, but how meditation can benefit me. We don't really aim at mental liberation. Our wisdom or our motivation is not there yet. But as you come to the teaching more and more, you start develop your faith, you start to strengthen your right view toward the teaching of the Buddha, and then there will be the point where you feel like, wow, the Dhamma is so deep. Wow, the Dhamma is so wonderful. Now I realize that's whatever the Buddha said, is really true. Like it's nothing, everything is impermanent, everything is subject to change. Why don't I just learn how to let go and perhaps detach yourself further and further away from the realm of sense pleasure. That's why many people come to ordain at the old age after they have gone to a lot of experience in life, up and down, success and failure, and realize that, wow, life is so short. Why don't I become a monk? We have many people come from different walks of life, and now they come to Chiang Mai, Thailand, and then they look for ordination, and some of them looking for a long-term ordination as well, because they understand there's something more than just born as a human being and have a good life and successful life. There's something more than that, that's kept in the teaching of the Buddha. So the teaching of the Buddha or the Dhamma, when we come to learn, it helps us to become a better person, wiser. From not knowing, now you come to know. Okay, what is precept? What is the benefit of dana or giving? What is the benefit of me meditation? You start having more positive input into yourself, your life, and then you reflect. You say, wow, I understand things better. I have a more open-minded, more understanding, more forgiving to the things around me. So that's the benefit of the Dhamma. And then you yourself feel like, I like to observe precept, to be a morality. It's going to be difficult for Dhamma student to cheat on someone or to do something bad, because you have hiri ottappa. You feel shameful of doing bad thing, and you feel fear of the consequence of the bad action that you're about to do because of the law of karma that you understand. And you feel happier. You may have a good life, happy life already. As you come to study Dhamma, you'll be happier. Like I said, happiness is not just having food to eat, clothes to wear, vacation. It's not just that. It's about your mind feel fulfilling. It's about your mind has understand that life is so meaningful. Every day is something special, that you have a chance to be alive and have a chance to do more good things. And not only that, Dhamma teach us to reach out and help others. The longer you walk down this path, the more Dhamma you learn. You should be less and less selfless, not selfish. Should have a more open-minded, should more loving kindness, more compassion to help others. We not come to study Dhamma because we want to be better than others, because we want to, be proud of ourselves and use this Dhamma knowledge to look down others. It's not like that. It's about you understand yourself, and you, have a caring heart toward all beings. That hey, a lot of people in this world, they don't know that they don't know. In this 7 billion people on the planet, people still breaking precept every day without knowing the consequence, without knowing that I shouldn't be doing that. In a certain culture, killing is normal. Lying is okay this day. And, it's going to be difficult for to raise children in this generation if parents don't have a right view toward the Dhamma of how to live good life. So for today Dhamma, we will get to at least the 3 major teachings of the Buddha that aim at help the lay people to live life happier and smarter or wiser by utilize these 3 major teachings. And of course, it benefit the monk as well, both monk and the lay people. So we will be learning the Vuddhi Dhamma, the Chakka Dhamma, and the Agati, or the 4 prejudices. The Vuddhi Dhamma composed of the 4 things, which is 5 good teacher, listening to the teaching, reflecting on the teaching, and put everything you learn into practice. And the Chakka 4 will be talking about associating with good people, living in a good place, suitable place, setting in the right course or the right living style, having formally done a good deed. That's what's mentioned in the text, which Luang Pi will go through this one by one, and then we will discuss on the 4 prejudices. What consider the prejudice? What are the 4 things on the list and why they cause us trouble? Prejudice caused by love, caused by hate or anger, caused by delusion, and caused by fear. Okay, start from the first one, the Vuddhi Dhamma. This is also one of my favorite sutra as well, because it's short and it helps us to lay down a good foundation to be success, both in the worldly life and in the spiritual life. The Buddha said, Bhikkhu, these 4 things lead to the growth of wisdom. The growth of wisdom. So the keyword are here, the growth of wisdom. 4 things that lead to the growth of wisdom. That means if you want to be smart, you develop these 4 things as a foundation. First, associating with noble person. Second, listening to the true teaching. And the third, wise reflection. And the 4th or the last one, practice in line with the teaching. This is from the Panyavutti Sutra, from Anguttara Nikaya. It's very simple, but it's come with detail that we need to understand. If we put them into picture, there are steps for us to practice in order for us to develop wisdom, the growth of wisdom, right? Number 1, you associate it with noble person. Sapuri Sangmasewa. That's in Pali. This is the starting point of having more knowledge or more wisdom. You may know something already. If you want to be the best in that area, if you want to know more in that particular thing, the shortcut is to following this formula. Number 1, find a person who good at that thing in that field. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, you need to find the best medical school to attend. You need to find the best law school to attend. Perhaps you can learn from the best of the best. So find good teacher is the starting point. If you want to practice meditation, you don't know how to practice meditation, then you do some research. Okay, you find which teacher that you feel comfortable with, then you go learn from those teachers. That's the starting point, and it saves a lot of time. You don't have to make a mistake, try this and that on your own, which is sometimes you can waste a lot of time to get to where you're supposed to be. In the reality, you don't have to waste a lot of time to understand that particular thing. You just go to someone that can give you some tip and technique, then perhaps you can do what they can do. Second, you listening to the teaching. You wholeheartedly, you empty your glass, you learn with respect from your teacher. Without respect to the teacher, then you may not get the most out of your learning. If you go to the class and you go to the seminar, you go to the retreat with some idea, some thought, with your egos that you may know more than them, then perhaps you cannot learn that much from the teacher, from those teachers. And once you empty your glass, you respectfully listen to the teacher. It's called Sattama Savana, mean listening. Then if you do that, the next step is you need to reflect, wise reflection. You may be familiar with the term Yoniso Manasikara, wise reflection or critical reflection, deep investigation. Don't just believe what you hear, and at the same time, don't just right away reject what you hear. Wise people would listen and reflect before they make decision. This is important to reflect. So people said meditation is good. You learn, you meditate. People said observing precept is good. You learn and you observe precept. Without reflection, you may practice wrongly. Or why do I have to meditate every day? Can I do it once a week? Can I do it once a month? Can I do it whenever? Or can I observe precept today 5 precepts, tomorrow 3 precepts, and next day 4 precepts, something like that? That means you don't really understand the concept of meditation and the concept of the precept. So you need to find way to reflect. If you don't understand, you ask the teacher. That's the shortcut for you to be comfortable with the Dhamma that you are learning. And then the last step is to practice until you get the result, until you realize that, hey, precept is good, meditation is good, study Dhamma is good. These are the 4 steps that the Buddha teach in that Panyavutti Sutra, the sutra that we learned earlier. So there are many stories about how people can become successful by utilize this kind of formula. For me, the person that I admire, one of the person that I admire the most is Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mokkhalana. Right? They both were good friends, and before they become monks, these 2 young men who happened to be born wealthy in a good family, but they're smart. They understand. They have a different way of seeing things and understanding things. At the young age, they look for teacher. They go from place to place. Wherever people said, oh, there's a good teacher over there, they go there. They seek for the advice. Humbly seek for the advice from the teacher. Until they learn everything from the teacher, then they move on to find another teacher. That's how smart people normally do. And one day, Venerable Sariputta, before ordained, he came across Venerable Asachi, happened to be one of the 5 ascetics who achieved enlightenment after listening to the second teaching of the Buddha, the Anattalakkana Sutra. They become Arahant. The 5 ascetics became Arahant. So Venerable Asachi went arms round, and Sariputta was there in that village, and he noticed that this monk is somebody. The way he dressed, the way he walked, the way he give the blessing, this person is somebody. Have you ever felt something like this when you see someone that you walk past by, that this man or this woman is somebody? They are have a nice manner, they look educated, they look very mindful. And that got attention of Sariputta. So he was following around Venerable Asachi until he finished his alms round. He sat down and he eat his breakfast. And when he finished the breakfast, Venerable the Sariputta approached Venerable Asachi and asked the question in the very nice manners, very respect to the teacher. He said, he think this may be the teacher. This is the one who can teach me something, just by seeing him from afar. So they exchange conversation, and the Sariputta insists for Venerable Asachi to give the Dhamma talk. Venerable Asachi, for the record, he attained the arahantship. But when he was asked by by Sariputta to teach the Dhamma, he said, I just ordained. I'm a new monk. I don't have much to teach. You see how humble of the great teacher. He is an arahant, but he said, I don't have much to teach. Sariputta said, it's okay, whatever you learn from your teacher, just tell me something. Whether I understand or not is my problem. But for you, please share with me something. And this is what Venerable Asachi shared with Sariputta. One sentence. And at the end of this sentence, Sariputta understood and he wake up to the truth. He become the Soda Patana, or the stream winner, right then, in the middle of that village. Of causally arising things, the Buddha has declared their cause as well as their ending. It's about cause and it's about ending. This is the teaching of the great ascetic, which again point to the Buddha. The teaching of the Buddha is about cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and condition, cause and condition. For Sariputta, this sentence is more than enough for him to understand. So he wake up through this, through teaching. He became the stream winner or Sodapatana because of his wise reflection. So for us, we may not understand as Sariputta because we don't have the same level of wisdom as he has. But at least we can reflect of what what Venerable Asachi gave the teaching to Sariputta. So we can continue to reflect, and then we can put into practice as well. So it's the same. Find good teacher, continue to find good teacher. And when you find them, you respectfully listen to them, what they're about to say, humbly. Not only that, reflect, investigate, examine the teaching. Not just intellectually try to understand, but also put into practice until you realize the teaching that you learn from the teachers. These are the 4 steps, the virtue that conducive to the growth of wisdom. Okay? And that's the first topic today, which not so complicated. Here we have an international monk that living together with us. From my experience in the past 10 years, training them, and many foreigners want to learn Thai. The easiest way for them to understand Thai is to have them stay with the Thai monk. Right? When they're surrounded by the Thai monk, they have no way. They have to listen to the Thai language. So they listen to the Thai language. They pick up vocabulary here and there, and then they reflect. Oh, today they talk about this. Tomorrow, it's gonna be the same routine, right? How are you? How was your day? How is your meditation? Simple conversation like that. Within a few months, many of them they are able to catch up the vocabulary, and they are able to speak a simple language, a simple sentence. And within a year, many of them, they feel very comfortable in Thai language. So that's the shortcut. You find a teacher who is. Let me add on a little bit. Not only you find a teacher, okay, you need to make sure that the teacher willing to teach you. Because they don't get paid, right? Even though they get paid, they may not teach you 100% as they prepare. Without respect, then people don't want to share what they learn, what they know to you fully. That's why the Buddha said respectfully listen to the teaching, lessen your ego, empty your glass, and willing to learn. Then you will grow your wisdom. definitely. Okay, reflect, practice, reflect, practice. That's how you grow. Okay, and many examples like this, which we don't have time to go for all of that. Just, but I hope you see the picture of how to put this formula into the practice. Now we move on to the second one, which is the Chakka 4, right? The Chakka 4. But before we go to the Chakka 4 or the Dhamma that willing one to prosperity, we learn this one from the first week, first lecture. We learn Sati, translate to mindfulness, and we learn Sampachanya, translate to clear comprehension. This consider the virtue of great assistance in the group of two. There are not just these two items or these two Dhamma that consider great assistance or Pahukalaka Dhamma. There are many of them. Today you're going to see something else, which is in the group of 4 that consider the virtue of great assistance or Pahukalaka Dhamma, which is this one. The Chakka Dhamma. Chakka means wheel. The virtue that willing one to prosperity. That means if you have this foundation, your life will be prosper. You're in a better position to grow in any way you want to grow, spiritually or in your business life or in your education life. If you have all of this laid out as a good foundation for your life. So in the Chakka Sutra from Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha said, when a person lives in a suitable region, a suitable place, and when making friends with the noble ones, when possessing the right resolve, and having merit from the past, all of this will come to them. Gain, riches, fame, reputation, happiness come to the person who possess these 4 things. You may be wondering why grain come to them. In the old days, grain or cows, this represents the richness. When you have more rice, that means you're rich. When you have more cow, that means you're rich. So the riches, the fame, credibility, reputation, happiness will come if you have this foundation. This is quite interesting. There are 4 items, 4 things. This one. Number 1 is called living in a suitable place. Living in the suitable place, which seem to be understandable, right? But let's see if we can understand more than just what we see on the screen. I put the Pali terms here just as a reference. Later on you can study by yourself. Patirupate sawasa, living in a suitable place. Sapuri supasaya, associating with the noble friends. Atta samma panithi, mean possessing the right resolve. And the last one is buphekata punyata, mean having merit from the past. At least you hear the terms. You don't have to worry about memorizing all of this, but it's nice to at least hear them out. If you pay attention, number 1, pay close attention, live in a suitable place. Number 2, associating with noble friends. Number 3, possessing the right resolve. And number 4, having merit done from the past. This one we saw earlier. Associating with noble friends, right? I mean, you find good teacher, you find good friends, then you can grow your wisdom. We can divide them into 2 parts. Number 1 and number 2 is an external factors. This is the place and this is the people. It's not you. It's an outer factors. But here is about you. Possessing the right resolve and having merit from the past. This is you. And this is others. So we're not alone in this world. If we want to grow, we somehow need to make sure that we live well with others. We maintain a good relationship with others. Okay. Start from number 1, living in a suitable place. What does it mean? Patirupate Sawasa. You think of place, right? Place mean the physical place, the country, the house, the village, the community that you live. Are they suitable? Are they noisy? Are they dangerous? Or are they peaceful? If you live in a peaceful place, quiet place, no criminal, less danger, no violence, no war, that's awesome. That's good. That's good. That means you residing in the environments conducive to personal and spiritual growth. You don't have to worry about finding food. You don't have to worry about having accidents or bad people come and rob you. I have been to such a country where each house has to build the tall fence. Not only you have the tall or high fence around your house, you need to have the electricity wire on top of your wall in case someone come up to the wall, so they cannot coming in because they cannot pass those electricity wall. And when you leave the house, you cannot go alone. You need to go with someone, because all of the Thai people there that I met, they said everybody get robbed. And that's the condition of that particular location, particular places. But people still have to live there. They come to the temple, they may worry about someone may come and rob their home, steal something from their house, something like that. So that's not conducive. So living in a suitable place, number one, the idea is, to live in such a place where it's conducive for personal and spiritual growth. But it's not ideal, right, for us to, I don't like this place, I move to another place. I don't like this country, I move to live to another country. We cannot just do that. So you need to find a way to manage this. But ideally, if you have the place that's conducive for your personal growth, that's good. That's good. And another idea that comes with this is to living where there are opportunities for education, work, and moral development. Not just a quiet place, not just the place where it's not dangerous. You can live in the remote area, but you cannot have access to education, cannot have access to the temple, cannot make merit, something like this. That also consider that's not a suitable place. What if you cannot move your house, you cannot move your country, you cannot just move around to find a comfortable place to live? At least what you can do is to make sure that your house or wherever you live is conducive, is clean and is organized. It gives you a feeling of comfortable, peace of mind. How is your bedroom look like? How is your bathroom look like? How is your closet look like? How is your car look like? Can you do something about it? Can you make sure it's always clean, it's always organized? And everyone in the house have the same attitude to help each other to maintain the cleanliness and the orderliness of the environment of the house. Because every time you come home, you feel like, wow, this is my place. The place where you can have a peace of mind, the place where you can rest fully, the place where you can have creativity, ideas to do the job, to help you to re-energize yourself, before you go back to work tomorrow. This is how we train the monks too. The monks live in small hut, and they have one tent for one monk, and they need to make sure that their tents always clean and organized. One blanket, one pillow. This is the habit that we train everyone to cultivate. That's called the suitable place. Imagine if you come home and your home is unorganized, dirty. Do you have a mood to or good feeling to meditate? You have a good mood to sit back and relax and rest? Probably not. But if your house is clean, your bedroom is clean, your bathroom is clean, your mind is at ease, you feel relaxed, then whatever you do is going to be good because your mind is in good condition. Okay, so start from here. Second thing is associating with noble friends. There are two ideas. The first one is to surround oneself with a good, virtuous people. Find good friends. It is that having one bad friend is more than enough to give you a headache for life. But having 100 good friends still considered not enough. The more the merrier, the more the better for you to have more good friends into your life. What about yourself? Do you feel like I am a good person that deserve to have more good people in my life? Or I am the one who always cause the problem wherever I go? Do your friend want to be friend with you? Or do they feel good every time you leave them? Every time you leave the office, people feel happy. Every time you not show up, people feel comfortable. That shouldn't be like that. Surround yourself with good friends, but you need to make sure that yourself also likable, yourself also beneficial, yourself also lovable from your friend as well. And then once you have that built, cultivate that relationship that inspire and support positive growth. Secure that relationship with your friends. Don't neglect your friends. If they need help, find a way to help them. Find a way to support them in some way, in any way that you can. Okay, make sure that people feel like, wow, I can rely on you. How many good friends in your life that you have? 10, more than 10, 100, or maybe a few? That's something that you should reflect. If following the teaching of the Buddha, this is clearly one good friend is not enough. But having bad friends, one is more than enough. Okay, stay away from them. How do you know these friends are good or bad? At least you can use these indicators. If someone drag you down this path, be careful. It's called the road of ruins, the 6 drain on wealth that you can apply. People who always drag you to go drink, roaming the street at night, go to party a lot, go gambling, bad companionships, and they always bring you the problem, borrowing you money, give you headaches all the time, okay? And you yourself become a lazy person. That means the lazy person will attract lazy person, right? It's the law of attraction. If you have these qualities, you will attract them to your life. So make sure you don't have this in your life. Stay away from those bad things, the alcohol, drug, gambling, all of this that mentioned by the Buddha himself. So be careful. And the second thing, the Buddha said, not just you having good friends, not just you live in a good place. It's not enough for you to grow. It's good start, but it's not enough. So add something else. The first two is an outside factor, right? It's an outer factor about place, about people. Now it's about you to have this attitude, to have this right view, to possess the right resolve. The right resolve, or atta sammapaditthi in Pali, translate to the thorough pursuit or the development of one's personalities. That's general meaning. Or to establish oneself firmly in the virtue and the right way of life. How do we know this is the right way of life? That's another question. But the idea of possessing the right resolve, this point to the panya or wisdom. To be specific is point to the right view. In the Noble Eightfold Path, the number one on the list is the right view. Because when you have the right view, then right thinking follow. And when you have right thinking follow, then your behavior, the way you say, the way you do, will be wholesome. Because you have right view that, okay, my view is alcohol is bad. My thinking is I will not drink alcohol. And my behavior will not drink. Wherever I go to the party, I go to the office, I go with my friend, I will not drink. If you track it back, it's coming down to this because I have the right view. That's why you have the right resolve. You establish yourself in the virtue and the right way of life. Now you can link them to the teaching of the Noble Eightfold Path. This is right view. When someone having the right view, this is the starting point of having good life. If you have the wrong view, okay, one man said alcohol is bad. Another man have the view like, okay, alcohol is good. It's okay. I drink. If my son drink, okay, you can drink because you're a man. The man can drink, the man can gambling. That's the view. But another dad said, no, son, don't go drink, don't go gambling. So these two father has two different views. So he will teach different view to his son and people in his life circle. Alcohol, drug, gambling, whatever it is, it starts from having the wrong view and having the right view. That's the difference. So you can set yourself on the right path. 5 ways to do that. Having clear, wholesome goal and intention for one life. This is what most people don't have. Buddhism, or the teaching of the Buddha, is wonderful. It's a holistic education about life and how to live good life. The Buddha teach us how to set goal in life and how to live good life as well. Okay, so if we have the wrong view, we fall into the wrong path, and life will end up suffering. You hurt yourself and you hurt others, and you hurt the society, and perhaps you may hurt the world too. At least there are 3 goals of life that mention. First is called the worldly goals. Worldly goal means in this life that we already born as a human being. Okay, you set goal to make sure that you can not only support yourself, you'll be able to support your family as well. It's focused on the material wealth and well-being and living life in a meaningful ways. And how can we do that? You have to come to study Dhamma. You have to hang out with good friends. The reason someone come to study Dhamma, because number one, for the outer factor, they have good friends that introduce them to study Dhamma, introduce them to observe precept, introduce them to meditate, introduce them to good teacher. And the second factor is internal factor, is about you yourself. You have a desire, you have a motivation to look for the teacher, like Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mokkhalana. Is internal factor for them. It was so strong, so they have to look for the good teacher. They feel like life is meaningless. I need to know the purpose of life. I need to know how to live good life. So they look for the teacher. So 5 ways to understand. Set the right goal to have the worldly goals. And heavenly goal, we learn there's the law of karma that the Buddha teach, right? There's life after death. This is not the first lifetime that we were born, and it's not the last lifetime either. We're going to have to keep reborn and reborn for a very long time until we reach Nibbana one day. That's the ultimate goal. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we know that all of us, we have to die. So can we set goal for our life after we die? For Buddhist people, we have that teaching, so we have that understanding, so we can set goal, right? There are heavens, there are hell, there are many realms of existence. We can set goal where we want to reborn. The Buddha give us all the option. That's the good news. So we should born in a good place. We should born happily. The life after death can be designed here and now. If you do good, you get good. And with good person who do good karma, will go to the good place after they die. And keep on coming back to be human, accumulate merit and die, again keep on reborn like this for a very long time. How can you secure your journey to be born as human, to come back and born in the good place where there is a teaching, where there is a teacher, where is the Dhamma, where there is the Buddha maybe? That's another question, that's another thing that you should reflect, because it's a long journey. That's why there is a term called perfection. In Buddhism, there is a term called perfection. There are 10 perfections, right, that we may heard about it. Whether you're a lay person, you're a monk, we understand that the Buddha point to Nibbana. That's ultimate goal. One day we get there. We don't know when, but he also teach us how to get there. You observe precept, you develop your mind, and you develop your panya, sila, citta, and panya. Then one day you will get there. You 5 ways to give, make donation, offering food to the monks, help, underprivileged people to cultivate merit. Because if you do good things, you meditate, you give, you observe precept on a day-to-day basis, your mind is in the wholesome state all the time, every day. And when that person die, the mind that familiar or the mind that get used to stay in a wholesome state will trigger the next consciousness before that person go to the next life. The next consciousness will be a wholesome consciousness, which will, perhaps reborn in a good place. It's another easy word that we can understand is habit of the mind. There's a difference between merit and perfection. Merit is what? Okay, like this. You give food to the monk, you make donation, you practice meditation, you observe precept. But how many times that you make donation? How often do you give food to the monk, offer food to the monk? How often do you meditate? People go to the temple maybe once a month or maybe a few times a year. They feel good about it. They think that's the best I can do because I am busy. So on New Year's, on special occasion, they go to the temple together and then they're offering things to the monks, to the Sangha. They themselves sometimes observe 5 precepts, never observe 8 precepts. Sometimes meditate. Some people don't even know how to meditate. But they know every time they do that, they feel good. It's a merit. But opposite to the perfection. Perfection means what? You do this on a day-to-day basis. You do this every day. You meditate every day. You observe 5 precepts every day. You find ways to give, to help people every day until the day you die. This is called perfection. And what happens when you do things every day? It's become a habit. Let's say you meditate every day. If you don't meditate tonight, you cannot go to sleep because you feel like something is missing. It's become the habit of the mind to meditate before you go to bed. And this is the good news, because when we lie down on the bed, in the hospital, on the last breath that's about to come, the body is wearing, as the environment is not nice, there's a smell bad, there's a medical equipment, there's an oxygen mask, there's a doctor come in and out, there's a lot of disturbance in the mind. How can you maintain a peaceful mind in that situation? But if people who do this every day, who give every day, who meditate every day, who listen to the Dhamma every day, who chant every day, for them it's a piece of cake. Because the mind gets used to it. The mind gets used to it. In the subconscious level, even the body is so weak. Our consciousness is not there. But in the subconscious level, the mind is very strong. The mind knows what it's doing. There is an example of one of the great monks in Thailand. He admitted to the hospital. He's an old monk, he's senior monk. And he has been hospitalized for a month without recovering. And the doctor noticed that every time around 5 p.m. in the evenings, they noticed that the EKG graph is go like this between 5 to 6 p.m. But the rest of the day is like low. And they don't know why. It happened every day during this time. So they asked the secretary monks what normally this Luang Po or this Venerable do during this time. And the monk said, oh, yeah, during this time, if he doesn't have any invitation to go somewhere, this is the time where he do the evening chanting and meditate every day. He ordained as a young age as a novice until he became the senior monk. So the mind, he habituated his mind to go chanting and meditate during this time every single day. It's become the habit of the mind. And that's something you guys should pay attention to, make sure that don't let the day pass by without doing good things. Cultivate this, do it often. Don't just, oh, I know merit is good, offering is good, meditation is good, but I'll do it once a month. I'll do it whenever I am free. That's what most people usually do, right? Okay, I'll do it later. I know it's good. That's called careless. That's called careless. So be careful. So the last one, having merit from the past. This one is interesting. That means you having a good capital foundation. You born with these innate qualities. You born smart, you born good complexion, you born good health, you born in good family. You have a good foundation in life. That means you have done good thing, a lot of good thing in the past, right? But this teaching is not about us to worry that, oh, okay, what if someone born poor in a bad life condition, in difficult condition, what should I do? Who should I blame? It's not you to blame. Find someone to blame. That's not the teaching of the Buddha. It's about you to understand the cause and effect, the cause and effect, the cause and effect. Life is about cause and effect. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. You grow apple, you get apple. You cannot get banana. When you give, the more you give, the more you get. That's how the law of nature works. So it comes with two ideas. The first one is benefiting from good deeds that done from the past. Okay, you born in good quality, handsome, rich, highly educated, smart, you name it. You use whatever you have because of your past karma bring you these qualities, okay, to continue to grow. Recognize it and building upon one previous positive action. Don't just stop there. Don't be careless. Don't be careless. Because if you are careless that, you know what, I have everything, I don't have to do the work. My father is rich, my mom is this, my family is rich. So let's gambling, let's traveling, let's, enjoy life. I have such a friend like that who born in a perfect life but involved in gambling, involved in bad things and end up suffering. So they demerit themselves in this life. They should have a better opportunity, right, to continue to grow their spiritualities, to be a better person in the future life, but they don't, because they may be able to, because they may not have a good friends, hang out with the bad friends, get involved with the alcohol, drug and party, this and that. So we will end up suffering. If you are born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake, said by Bill Gates. And I like that. This is the cause and effect. It's okay. We don't know what we did in the past. We don't have to blame the condition. We don't have to blame our parents. We don't have to blame anything to anybody. Our job is to wake up, to face the truth, and to live life mindfully. It's okay to born poor, but it's not okay to die poor. That means you surrender to life. According to the law of karma, which many people have a misunderstanding about the law of karma. People say, oh, we born to pay the debt. Whatever we did in the past, just it's okay. Let's surrender. All the bad things come to me because I did the bad thing in the past. That is not true. That is not how life works. We were born to develop positive karma. If you never give, then learn how to give. If you never observe precept, learn how to observe precept. If you never meditate, learn how to meditate. You never listen to the Dhamma, learn how to study the Dhamma. That's what you should do. So you prepare yourself for the future. If we have if we live in the difficult situation in life, because of whatever we did in the past, it's okay. You have to be strong. You have to be confident and have faith toward the teacher. That the Buddha talked about the law of karma. But you don't have to surrender to those bad things. To be brave enough and in charge of your life. Get yourself education, go to school, find good job, observe precept, find way to give, find way to help others. By slowly build up this quality bit by bit, your life will be happy in this life. You'll be successful in whatever you do. And then you'll be happy not only in this lifetime, but for the future lifetime as well. For the previous batch, we have people come and ordain with us. And one of the gentlemen that I met, he was born in the, at the very young age. He didn't know his father left him. He was born poor, lived in the homeless condition for many years, and have no food to eat. And he have a very bad impression about his life at the young age. But he fought back. He never gave up. He fought back. He said, you know what? I'm going to get myself education. So find way to find scholarship, find way to go to school, keep coming back to school. until he get the scholarship. So go to good school, do his best in school, and find good job, and he becomes successful business person. Have a good life, have a lot of money, have a lot of good relationship and good credibilities in his career. So he fight back. That's many examples like this. Many millionaires that you know, they come from the background like this, but they don't give up. Okay, and that's the second topic of the Dhamma that we learned today. So now we're going to move on to the third one, which is called Agati. Agati is the prejudice. It's the preconceived idea or the bias, something that you're familiar with. This is another beautiful teaching of the Buddha. I don't know why it's unclear. Okay. So this teaching we can use as a framework when it's come to making a decision. How do I know my decision that I about to make is skillful or not? That's something that we can take away from this Dhamma that we are about to learn when it's come to the prejudice or the Agati. There are 4 things. In this teaching, the Buddha talked about 4 things that lead us to the wrong course. He said, Bhikkhus, there are these 4 ways of taking a wrong course. What 4? 1, take a wrong course because of desire or chanta, because of the hatred or dosa, because of the delusion or moha, and because of the fear or phaya. These are the 4 things that lead us to the wrong course. If we make decision based on these 4 driven factors, we're gonna end up suffering, hurt ourselves and hurt people around us. Again, first, the decision that caused by greed. Second, the decision that caused by hatred or anger. Third, the decision that caused by delusion or moha. And the last one, the decision that caused by fear or phaya. You see, the chanta khati, dosa khati, moha khati, and phaya khati in Pali. It's a wrong decision done under the influence of these 4 things: the desire, the hate, delusion, and the fear, which will affect our life if we make decision based on their influence. That's why the Buddha emphasized that whoever mean anybody, through the desire, through hate, through fear, and through ignorance, should transgress the Dhamma, or his glory fade away like the moon during the waning fortnight. In other words, if you make decision based on these 4 influences, you will damage your credibilities. You will damage your credibilities because it's not come from wisdom. It's come from the kilesa that drive those kind of decision. This is very beneficial when it's come to us living a day-to-day life, dealing with people. You may be the boss, you may be the teacher. We're not alone in this world. We're always living with the people around us, even in the family. If you make decision based on these 4 things, you're going to end up suffering. You're going to hurt people feeling in your families. What about the decision that caused by greed that can lead us to suffering? If you were a boss and you may have your favorite employee, someone that you like, and someone that you don't like. For people that you like, whatever he or she does, you always like what they do. Because you like, whether they're smart or not, whether they have intelligence or not, it doesn't matter because I like you. For another guy, he may be more qualified in the position, he may be smarter, have good background, more experience, but I don't like you. And when it's time to promote someone, to go higher, you pick someone that you like. Not because his qualification, but because I like you. That's called decision that caused by greed. Similarly, if you The reason you did not promote that guy because even though he is qualifying for that job, that position, but I don't promote you because I don't like you. So if you do that, this is in the second category, which is the decision that caused by hatred or anger, by the mind that crowded by hatred, because I don't like you, so I don't promote you. This is not good. We can see this in the business world very often, right? The decision that caused by greed. If some company may cheat on the customer because they want to get more profit, they promote something that they don't have in that product. So if people see this, people want to buy more, but in fact the product doesn't have that particular thing that mentioned to the customer. So keep on cheating on the customer, expect to have more profit. This caused by greed. So I want more profit, so I just gonna lie, I just gonna cheat on the customer. This is not good. Sometimes you may hear the story of corruption, right? If you are the boss, you can make the final decision, and the two salesperson come to you to sell the same product but from different company. But the first company may give you a lower price that you can buy. They know the product is the same, but another company offer the more expensive price, but they have under table. They have a sideline benefit that you can get if you purchase from the second company. So you go with the second company in order to get that money under table. This decision caused by greed, not by wisdom. And the second one, the decision that caused by hatred, by anger. There are many things like this. The first example we did talk about in the company, right? To promote someone that you like instead of someone that you don't like who is more qualified. If you were the teacher, you may have your favorite student and some student that you don't like. So you just treat them badly. You don't treat them equally because of you don't like them. You may find way to teach this student more and ignore another student that you don't like. That action is not good. It's driven by hatred. You don't have the same level of loving kindness toward all of your students. And the third one, the decision that caused by delusion. This one is a little bit complicated. For example, when we talk about gender bias, men and women, male and female in the workplace, some people don't want to promote women because they're women. So they tend to promote men or favor men more than women or something like this. Or religions, if you are Buddhist, if you're non-Buddhist, it can affect the decision of the boss to promote you or not. So this have to be careful when it comes to make this kind of decision. Don't let it caused by delusion or lack of enough information. Sometimes you may punish someone. The father may punish the son because of lack of the right information, right? If you hear someone say something, oh, your son did something bad, and when the son came home, you just punish the son without asking for the explanation. So something like this. This is not a good action to be made at all. And the last one, the decision that caused by fear. Caused by fear, there are many things. For example, if you fear of failing the exam and you may look bad in the eyes of your parents, so let's cheat on the exam because you don't want to fail in the exam. If you cheat on the exam, you may pass the exam, but that's considered the bad karma, right? It's not good. It's driven by fear. Or maybe if the policeman, he may feel reluctant to arrest someone's son who happen to be powerful, like politician sons who break the law. So police just let them go free because he doesn't want to damage his career. He doesn't want to maybe get transferred to some place remotely because that person happen to be the son of someone very powerful, something like this. So if decision caused by fear, again, it's considered a bad decision. It's gonna cause you suffering. It's gonna cause others suffering as well. This is something everybody need to be very, very careful. So one who is free from evil impulse is no longer liable to take the wrong path of greed, of hatred, of delusion. and of fear, the four factors that we just discussed about. So make sure that you are mindful when it's come to making decision. Make sure that you have enough information. Make sure that you thoroughly investigate the situation before you make decision, so you will not regret later on. To keep it simple, how do you know this decision is considered good or bad? If you don't hear any of this Dhamma that we just learned, if you want to keep it simple, just give me one sentence, Luang Pi, one thing or one indicator that I can use for the rest of my life, that this decision I shouldn't be doing. This one is okay for me to do. As a student, Dhamma student, you should find a way to have some sort of the right indicator telling you to help you to make a better decision or a wholesome decision. My tips to you when it's come to make any kind of decision, for me, I usually pause a little bit and I ask myself, if I do this, whatever it is, and if in the future when I look back of myself, do I feel regret or not? Is there any chance that I will feel regret? If the answer is yes, then don't do it. For example, like cheating on the exam, no one knows, or stealing someone's stuff where no one in this world will be knowing for the rest of your life. Nobody knows. Only you know that you steal someone's stuff, that you cheat on the exam. In 10 years from now, 100 years from now, or even maybe in the lying bed, in the dead moment, this incident, this bad karma may come. We never know. Oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I feel bad about what I did. If your father and your son ask you, Dad, have you ever cheated on the exam? What would you say? Are you going to be proud? You said, yes, I have, many times. Or, I never. That's the question you should ask yourself. Am I going to feel regret of doing this? Then it helps you to think deeper before you do it. Okay? All right, so now let's wrap it up for the last subject today. We're going to touch on the idea of the danger of a new monk. In fact, I think this can be applied to even the old monks, the monk who ordained long time, not just the new monk, or anybody who walked down this path, to be careful. We cannot take the teaching of the Buddha lightly. So before getting to this teaching, we need to ask ourselves, what is the purpose of you becoming a monk, you become a nun, you leave your family to live life celibacy like this? What is your purpose? What is the final goal of you doing this? And the Buddha already gave the answer. The final goal for the holy life, whoever you are, male and female, doesn't matter, monk in the past, monk today, and monk in the future, same thing, same goal, to the destruction or the removal of lust, of hatred, of delusion. This is the final goal of the holy life. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter when you ordain. Last life, this life, future life, same goal. As long as we have not reached this, that means the job is not finished yet. The state of mind where the mind is 100% pure from greed, hatred, and delusion, then the job is not done yet. In Chatum Sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya, the Buddha said, when you, bhikkhu, this is the Buddha teach the monk, when you go into the water, when you jump into the water, when you go swim in the ocean, you should anticipate 4 danger. What 4? The Buddha said, there will be a wave, there will be a crocodiles, there will be a whirlpools, there will be a fishes. These are the 4 dangers that you can expect when you go into the water. Same thing in the same way. When a person gone forth means take banpacha or ordination. You leave home to be a homelessness. You ordain. You gone forth from the lay life to a homelessness. In this teaching, that means in the teaching of the Buddha and the training, in this doctrine, you should anticipate you will be experiencing these 4 dangers if you're not mindful. The Buddha give us something that we can prepare. You may be facing these 4 things, so be careful. Same thing, the wave, the crocodiles, the whirlpools, and the fish. He used this metaphor, this similar this simile, which is interesting, because each one of these come with the meanings, right? The whirlpools, the crocodiles, the wave, the crocodiles, the whirlpools, and the fierce fish. Sometimes you can think of the shark, dangerous fish. So let's get to know each one of them. The first one is called the whirlpool. The wave. This one. The wave refer to the lack of patience, anger and distress. Why is that? Because when someone become a monk, that person, no matter who they are, it doesn't matter how rich they are, it doesn't matter how educated, how much education they have, good family, poor family, doesn't matter. When someone become a monk, they have to leave everything behind. They have to follow the same rules. If the monks turn over 200 rules, and the wave represents a person who are unable to accept the teaching. Because the nature of the wave will keep hitting the shore 24/7, non-stop. It doesn't care. It's going to keep hitting the shore day and night. So the new monk who undergone the training will keep receiving the instruction from their mentor and teaching monk day in and day out. That's why in the first 5 years, they call newly ordained monk. If someone ordained less than 5 years, they call the newly ordained monk. In this 5 years, they not be able to accept the teaching. If they lack of patience, they cannot survive. That's why people quit, because I know all of this. I met a man who, some people ordain at the old age, have successful life, rich, highly educated, and when he ordained, he may be living with the mentor or the teaching monk who younger than him, less success than him, have less education than him. And when people have such an ego or view toward the trainer, then they cannot accept the teaching. So that monk will not last long. That's number one danger that we should be careful. So we learn that if you want to have wisdom, you need to find good teacher, right? So you go find good teacher, and if you go good teacher, you submit yourself to the teacher, and then the teacher keep on correcting you and over, keep on adjusting you over and over. But later on, you have less patience. You say, "Oh, I know all this. Everything he said, I know." Then you are in danger. You cannot survive. You cannot be success. Okay. And the second thing is the crocodile. What's wrong with the crocodile? Crocodile is the animal with no tongue, right? It eats anything, good, bad, chicken, beef, whatever it is. Crocodile eat everything. If someone becoming a monk and addicted to eating, become gluttony. Because the good news is, when someone become a monk, food is free for life. Free food. You don't have to pay because you don't work for money. Food is free. You go arms round, people give you food for the rest of your life. And most of the food that you receive, people would find the best thing in the kitchen and offer to you. They expect merit. They give a better quality food to you. If a monk addicted to that, or get trapped in the realm of eating or acquiring good food, that monk cannot survive. Another sense of this is, when a man before he ordained, he can eat whenever he wants, whatever he wants, good food, anytime he wants. And now he become a monk. He cannot do that. Only 2 meals a day, and some temple eat 1 meal a day. You eat whatever you receive from the lay people. You cannot demand, "Oh, tomorrow can you bring me pizza? Tomorrow can you bring me fried chicken?" You cannot say that to the lay people. And sometimes you go to the house and the people are poor and they're offering you just sticky rice maybe, and you cannot complain. You cannot say, "Oh, could you prepare me egg tomorrow? I'll come back later." But we don't say that. This is not the manner of a good monk, right? We don't keep on demanding things. We leave from home, we leave house, we leave home, lay life to be a homeless life. So we should be easy to support. Okay, so if the monk cannot stand of the food that he receive every day, then he will quit. He will quit because at home my life is better than this. This is the second danger that the monk need to be careful. You see, we learn of the practice of the Apannaka Dhamma. The monk need to be moderate in eating. It affects their meditation practice. It affects their spiritual growth. If they're not mindful of their eat, then the monk may not last long. And the third one is the whirlpool. The whirlpool represents the 5 kinds of sense pleasure. Because before a man ordained, he at home, he can eat whenever he wants, he can buy whatever he wants, he can watch whatever movie he wants, he can do whatever he wants basically to entertain himself toward what he see, what he hear, what he smell, what he taste, what he touch. And when he become a monk, only this is the clothes that he allowed to wear for the rest of his life. Few pieces of robes, 1 pair of shoes. We don't have pillow, we don't have anything. We don't own anything. The temple, whatever the temple give us, that's what we use. We have the bowl for getting food, that's all. There's no entertainment in this life. And when the new monk feel like, remember, this is the Buddha give to the new monk. So the new monk not familiar with this living condition. So he may be thinking, oh, if I were at home, I can watch television by now. So today it's very hot. If I were at home, I can turn on air conditioning. Or if I am at home, now it's 8 p.m., I can order pizza and I can enjoy myself, late night pizza. And now I cannot. So the mind crave for the comfortness, the luxuriousness that he has before he come to become a monk. Then he thinking of, maybe I should disrobe, I should go home. So he quit. This is the third danger that the monk should be careful. And the last one, you think of this, the nature of the whirlpool. It's sucked down. If we are trapped in the realm of sense pleasure, it sucks us down to the bottom, then we die. Okay? And the last one is the fish, the shark. When we swim in the ocean, if you see shark, you need to come out. The shark may bite you and then you may die, you may get hurt, right? So in this case, what the Buddha referred to, the fish is woman. It's woman. What's wrong with woman? Because this is the final goal. We keep the final goal vividly. Our goal is to remove sense pleasure, lust. Remove all of this. Remove hatred, remove delusion. But sense pleasure is number one that people, most of us, we get used to it. We are in the sense pleasure realms. Whatever we see, we hear, we smell, if we like, we want more of that. And we know, we feel good of having this. And in one teaching, the Buddha said, the sound that the man wants to hear the most is the sound of the woman. The sound that the woman wants to hear the most is the sound of the man. The touch that the man wants the most is the touch of the woman. The touch of the woman wants the most is the touch from the man. It's the nature of being. That's how we were created. There's a thin line between the life of the monk and the life of the lay people. So let me show you real quick. There are 2 different worlds. This is the world of sense pleasure. Here, people are down here. And one day the guy feel like, you know what, let me become a monk. That means I'm done with this. I'm done with the sense pleasure. Now I'm looking for a more refined form of happiness, which happiness that comes from meditation, happiness that comes from renunciation. Or perhaps one day I can realize the ultimate happiness called Nibbana, one day. So he turned himself away from the sense pleasure realms. And as he ordained in the first 5 years, in the newly ordained monk, which the mind get used to this happiness. If the monk keep on thinking of, oh, you know what, I have wife, I have girlfriends, I have money, I have possession, maybe I should go back and enjoy that and come back and ordain when I get older than this. So it's like thinking like this may keep coming back to the new monks in the first 5 years. But like I said, even the monk who ordained long term or long time, the mind can be always get back to the sense pleasure that he had that experience before he become a monk. That's why we should guard our mind. Okay, not just guarding the sense door, we guard our mind too. The reason the Buddha mentioned this teaching because there was the monk, the young monk who just ordained, and he went arms round in the village, and he noticed that, you know, when the monk go arms round, we're not supposed to look at the woman, we're not supposed to look at the people who give us food. We keep our eye fixed at the bowl, whatever they put in the bowl, and that's it, and then we move on. Somehow that monk accidentally looked at, when he saw the hand of the woman who gave the food, he feel, oh, the hand is so white. Let me check her face. And then he looked at the face of the woman. happened to be a beautiful woman who offering food today. So when that young monk came back to the temple, he cannot meditate. He keep thinking of the beautiful woman. So if I were the layman, I may be having this kind of beautiful girlfriend. So it's mental formation start to formulate those unwholesome thoughts. And then if he cannot get out of that thought, that's dangerous. The monk may be thinking of, let me say goodbye, this robe, and go home. So that is why I think these 4 things, it's also something that we should reflect. Either we are monks or the lay people, so we can be careful of this as well. Okay. So if you are a person who get agitated easily, get mad easily, you cannot grow your wisdom. You're gonna get mad. You can find fault of anything. Even there is no perfect teacher in this world. Even the Buddha himself, people still find fault in him. Manage that, okay? Develop a better attitude toward the teacher. Watch out what you eat. Be mindful. Watch out. Be mindful of what you eat. And lessen your sense pleasure. That's why there is from 5 precepts, from time to time you can observe 8 precepts too. To live simple life, to see how you feel when you detach yourself from entertainment, from cosmetics, from shopping, from dancing or partying, to see how you feel. It helps you to improve your meditation and to grow yourself spiritually. And this one as well, okay, is about sense pleasure. It's about intimate relationship between man and woman, and that's something it's blocking us to go deep in our meditation practice. Okay, and that's the idea of the danger for the new monks. Okay, I think that's pretty much what we're supposed to learn today. So we have learned these 4 key principles that help us to live good life. Vuddhi 4, if you want to grow your wisdom, this is about grow your wisdom. You need to find good teacher. You need to respect your teacher and listen to the teaching fully. Not just that, you have to be wise to reflect of what you learn, and then most importantly, put whatever you learn into practice. And then the Chakka 4, this is about the virtue that help you to grow, okay, in the spiritual world and the worldly life as well. If you make sure that you associate with good people, find more good people in your life, okay, living in a suitable place, okay, organize your home, make sure it's clean, it's organized, setting the right course, that means, observe precept, find way to do more good. Don't be careless of living life. And this one is about what you have done in the past, okay, whatever it is that bring you here today, appreciate it. If you have good condition already, that's good, do more. But if you born in a difficult situation, again, be brave and be more mindful to live good life, okay, to be strong. And this one is about you making a decision. If you make decision based on these 4 bias, you're gonna end up suffering. You will commit more of negative karma to your life. If you make decision that drive by greed, drive by hate, drive by delusion, and drive by fear. Okay, and I will give you the reference that you can, if you like, you can study later on, okay, on your own pace. Okay, so we're done for today. Hope you learned something new, and I don't know if you have any question or comment or suggestion.